Jai Gurudev, and welcome to this satsang, Samskaras. So today I want to talk about samskaras and things that we have in our subconscious mind, in our library, attached to us, that is keep on coming back to us, so to say. I know many of us, we notice, or all of us notice, that we have certain behaviors in life, right? And some behaviors we have are not always positive. We can have addictions, we can have certain behavior of behaving very bad. And this can be caused by past actions. Okay? So all the actions that we do are recorded, are stored with us. Yeah? So when we think, when we act, this creates a karmic thing. And this karmic thing gets stored within us. They are not attached to the Atma itself. This means that those actions are not totally stuck to the Atma. The Atma is the soul, right? So we do, in every life that we have things that we do, right? We have things that we do that are positive, which generates good karma, and we have things that we do that generates bad karma. We can see where we are today. We can see different creatures, different human beings. We all different, right? And this is caused to our actions. And those actions get stored. And this storage is called samskaras. So we have certain behavior coming up from those samskaras. And when we start to do spiritual work, we do spiritual practice, we start to explore a little bit more of who we are, why we are here, what is our dharma. We can see that many things that we have done before, or how we are act before, is not totally corresponding to who we feel that we are today. Yeah? And we can start to practice meditation, maybe we do breath work, we do certain things, and we start to see like a new you is born. Yeah? And this new you start to identify yourself with this new you. It's not the essence of who you are, it's still not the Atma, it's still another ego coming up, but still another ego in another way of behaving. Yeah? Maybe we start to become vegetarians, we start to sing mantras instead of listening to music on the radio, and we start to change a little bit. We start to become more peaceful, more calm, not so much anxiety. We start to live more from the heart, more with love, more with devotion. But suddenly, when we are in this journey, we notice like, oh, I feel so happy with myself, I have changed. And all of a sudden, the old patterns, the old samskaras are popping up. So you see that there is still some old behaviors within you. But you can see as you progress that they become less and less and less. And some of them are more hard to get rid of than others. Right? Some attachment to certain level of samskaras are harder to get rid of. If we go to the Bhagavad Gita, we can see that Krishna is talking to Arjuna, and here he's talking to him about controlling the tongue. If we can control the tongue, we can control the food, then we can control addiction. So if we first can learn how to control our tongue and not just eat because of eating, but we eat consciously. If we start by that, if we can control our tongue, and our eating behavior, then we can start to control the mind. So when we can control the mind and our emotions, when those old behaviors comes up, or we come into a very turbulent, say, situation in life, then we can handle this with ease, with peace, like there is nothing to it. But if we are very, we eat, we don't think about what we eat, when we eat, we eat a lot of sugar, a lot of rajasic food, tamasic food, we become slow, we cannot think, we become unconscious in a way. Then how are you going to act consciously in life if the mind is always unconscious about your behavior and your action? It's not possible. So this is why they start with the food. We start with the food and what we put in our mouth. And if we can control what we put in our mouth, we can start to control what's going on in the mind. Because sometimes we don't even figure out what's going on. And we are not in a position that we can see that it's coming from the ego itself, it's coming from the mind itself. We think like, yeah, it's just how it is. But when we start to go deeper, we can come in contact with the Atma itself. We come in contact with our essence. And when we observe from the essence of ourself, we can clearly see our behavior in a more broader perspective. If we go to the shamans or certain traditions in that region, they're always talking about the eagle, right? Because the eagle is like flying all over and can watch and see out things. The eagle can be a very good observer, right? So the great observer that is within all of us can observe our behavior, right? It can observe what we do. But what we have to be very careful with is the mind. Because the mind, so I talked about samskaras, right? So samskaras, you have a certain way of behaving and doing things, which is stored within you. So you behave, the mind push you to behave in a certain way, and then when you have done this, then mind start to judge you. So mind push you to do something, then mind start to judge you. But if you can become the eagle here, if you can become the great observer in this situation, you can just observe that the mind is pushing you to do something which is within you from before. You can also notice that the mind is trying to judge that action. And when you come into this, and when you are not attached to neither the action nor the reaction, you are free. You understand me? So when you can come into this, you can become free. It takes practice, of course, but if you can start to observe your behavior, observe your actions, the reactions, then you are really challenging the mind. Because if you want to grow, the mind must be challenged. If you keep on doing the same thing over and over, and if you not get pushed to transcend beyond the mind, ever, never, ever, you will not grow spiritually. We have to go beyond mind. Okay? So this is very important. So what you can do is you can do mantras, you can do meditation. I know many of you have certain exercises that you do. You may be in some lineage of yoga or whatever, right, that is helping you to moving forward. So whatever is helping you, do it. But first, we always have to do the job ourselves. A guru can do a lot. A teacher can help you, but you have to chew your food. A master can put the food inside of your mouth, but he cannot force you to eat it. Okay? So you have to do that job yourself, and then you have to have that strength and that willingness to grow. If you don't have that, it will never happen. Okay, so strength of mind is very important. If you want to get rid of your past karmas in form of samskaras, you have to be very strong in your mind. And you have to do the work. It's like everything, you know. The spiritual path is a very hard path. It's not an easy path. Very few make it the whole way because there are so much to go through. So challenge the mind a little bit. Become the master of yourself by just observe and don't react. You know, because sometimes we become very emotional, right? We become angry, frustrated, irritated. Huh? I know we all are there sometimes, yeah. But the lesser you are there, the more you can stay in this happy, peaceful mode, then the better life will be. So, Jai Gurudev everyone, and thank you for listening. If you resonate with the message, please send it further on. I'm now in Spain actually, and I will go to Sweden next week for the workshop in Gothenburg. So if you want to join me and go deeper in your spirituality, please, there are spaces to join next week in Gothenburg. And I will be in Stockholm the 18th and 19th of June for more spiritual service. So please send me a message if you would like to participate and join. All the best to all of you. If you have any questions regarding this satsang and want to go deeper with it, just send me a message. If you have something going on in your mind or whatever that you want to clear up, just text me and we can go through it. Because it's very important to be strong in the mind and to be master of your mind and transcend that mind of limitations into the unlimited realm of who you really are, which is the Atma. Jai Gurudev. Thank you for listening.